Do you ever feel like you're stuck in the same place no matter how hard you try? You read books, watch videos, set goals, but the results just don't come. Maybe you think you're not talented, or lucky, or motivated enough. But there's another reason, the silent reason, that almost no one talks about. You're losing a battle with time. That's right, a battle that most people don't realize they're fighting until it's too late, because time doesn't scream when it's wasted. It just flows, silently. Every second that passes never comes back. And you're not just losing a moment, you're losing a part of your life. Losing potential. Losing your future. Many people think of time as numbers on a clock. But no time is your heartbeat. It's your breath, your life force, your opportunity to build your legacy. And every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," you're not just procrastinating. You're giving away control of your life. This isn't motivational advice. This is a warning. If you've ever asked yourself, "Why am I still here when others are gone?" The answer isn't because they're better. It's because they understand something you may have forgotten. Time waits for no one. And they don't wait for inspiration. They don't wait for perfection. They take action. If you're truly ready to move beyond just surviving each day and start taking control of each hour, each minute, this video is the place to start. Because the biggest change in your life doesn't come from the outside. It starts with how you spend your next hour. Time is not something you have. It is you. Every moment that passes is not just a piece of time, it is a part of you that is disappearing, a part of your energy that you will never get back. Time is not just seconds on a clock. It is your life that is passing away silently without turning back. You may think, "I am just taking a break, hiding away." But the truth is, every time you hide from action, you are throwing away a part of your future, a part of your potential that you will never have the chance to exploit again. And the truth is, what you do with your time is a direct reflection of how much you value this life. Successful people understand this. They do not take time for granted. They see it as a precious, non-renewable asset. You can earn money back, you can restore energy, but time, once lost, it is lost forever. That's why they guard every hour, every minute like it's gold. They don't let their schedules get filled with false urgency. They don't let other people decide what's important. They define it. Because they know, if you don't control your time, it will control you. Time is not a tool. It's a foundation. It's what every result, every achievement, every aspect of your life is built on. And if that foundation leaks a little bit every day because of procrastination, distraction, or bad habits, how can you build anything great? You don't need more time. You need to appreciate the time you already have. Because how you use your time is how you live your life. Have you ever asked yourself, "Why am I still standing still while others have gone further?" It's not because they are smarter. It's not because they are luckier. The answer is much more painful. They just know how to use their time properly, while you don't. That's not an insult. It's the truth. A truth that many people avoid because it makes us responsible. Sometimes awakening doesn't come from inspiration, but from pain. The pain of realizing that we have missed so many opportunities because of procrastination. The pain of understanding that no one takes away our time but ourselves. You don't lack talent. You don't lack resources. What you lack is initiative. It's a decisive decision. From today, every hour you live will be meaningful. You need to stop making excuses. Because every time you blame circumstances, you are giving up control of your future. Successful people don't have more time than you. They just use time like a warrior. They don't wait for inspiration to act. They don't wait for everything to be perfect. They start even when they're scared, even when they're uncertain, even when they're doubtful. You can keep putting it off, but understand that every time you do, you're trading a part of your life. And by the time you wake up, it may be too late. It's a wake-up call. It's a harsh but necessary truth. And if you're brave enough to face it, you're strong enough to change. Don't wait for perfection. Start with the truth. Start by stopping wasting the most precious thing, time. There is something more dangerous than being busy in the dark, without clarity, without direction. You keep doing, running, working day and night. But then you ask yourself, why am I not getting further? Because you don't know where you are going. You don't know what you are living for. And without clarity, you can't make the right decisions. You can't prioritize correctly. You can't focus. Successful people don't start their day with the question, what should I do today? They start with, what do I need to do today to get closer to my goals? Clarity helps them differentiate between the urgent and the important, between what keeps them busy and what moves them forward. Lack of clarity is a silent thief. It steals energy, focus, and time without you even realizing it. You get caught up in tasks, invitations, information, which seem useful, but are actually draining your productivity. Clarity doesn't come from inspiration. It comes from questions, real questions, like, what is really important to me? What am I working toward? Is every action I take today getting me closer to that? If you don't stop to figure out what's really important, the world will do it for you, and you'll end up living a life that others have drawn for you, not your own. You don't need more time, you need more clarity, because an hour of working in the dark is not worth 10 minutes of action with clear goals. That's why clarity is the first step to personal power. Unclear, no decision. Undecided, no progress. Unmoving, you stand still while life moves on. There is no shortage of information in this era. There is no shortage of opportunities. What is lacking is focus. Focus is not about looking at one thing for too long. It is the ability to put aside hundreds of unimportant things to keep only one thing, the most worth doing. Successful people are not people who do many things at the same time. They are people who do the right thing at the right time with absolute attention. They understand that. Every time you switch your attention, you lose more than just a moment. You lose energy, momentum, and the ability to go deeply into anything. Focus is a weapon that ordinary people neglect, while outstanding people protect it like their life, because they know 1 hour of high concentration is more valuable than 10 hours of absent-minded work. When you cannot control your attention, you are no longer the master of time. You become a victim of the world. Every message, every notification, every click is a time when you lose a part of your precious energy. And the most dangerous thing is you get used to it. Get used to feeling disconnected, get used to never getting anything done, get used to living without being truly present. But you can take back control. Start by setting up a no-go zone for your focus, a block of time each day where no one, no thing can touch it. When you focus, you're not just getting things done, you're signaling to your brain, I'm worth your time. And over time, that becomes a power, not because you're doing more, but because you're doing it better, deeper, and long enough to see real results. In a world that's racing for attention, the winners are the ones who stand still and stare at their target, unblinking. Don't bet your life on something as vague as inspiration. Inspiration is the wind. It can take you high for a while, but it can also disappear when the going gets tough. Systems are the sails. They keep you moving forward whether the wind is blowing or not. The truth is, successful people don't rely on motivation to take action. They rely on systems, clear processes, preset actions that they follow every day, whether happy or sad, whether tired or strong, whether they want to or not. Systems are not strict discipline. Systems are liberation. They help you minimize the need to decide what to do each day, because everything is pre-designed. The right thing, the right time, the right way. Imagine. You don't have to ask yourself, where should I start today? You already know. No more fumbling, no more procrastination. You just get into the groove and let the system carry you. That's why people who produce results say, I don't need inspiration. I have a process. Systems help you stay motivated, even when you don't have motivation. Because you don't have to feel excited to get started, you just have to start. And once you start, inertia will carry you farther than you think. So, if you're tired of trying every day, stop. Stop trying. Build a system. Build a small habit, but one that's clear enough, easy enough that it's impossible to fail. Repeat it, protect it, and then let that system carry you to heights that motivation can't reach. Because in the end, you don't win on emotion, you win on structure. You can't fly if you're carrying things that don't fit. Success doesn't come from adding, it comes from removing, cutting, eliminating, removing. We often think that to get ahead we need to do more, but the truth is, to get ahead we need to do less, with greater focus and intensity. Every day, you're being pulled by a ton of things. Unimportant calls, meaningless notifications, busy work that doesn't add value, relationships that don't help you grow. And if you don't have the courage to cut, you'll be pulled away by the things you don't choose. Remember, every time you say yes to something that doesn't matter, you're saying no to something that really matters. You can't do everything, please everyone, keep every habit, and still expect to live the life of your dreams. Successful people don't do everything. They do the right thing and say no to the rest. Their focus doesn't come from superpowers. It comes from a deliberate choice. I don't need this. Cutting isn't a loss. It's a release. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you make room for something new, powerful, and on track. You don't need another tool, another course, another piece of advice. Maybe what you need is less noise, less excess commitment, less trying to please. And in that simplicity, you find clarity. And when clarity returns, focus sharpens. When focus sharpens, action becomes powerful. And when action becomes powerful, results are inevitable. You can have the perfect schedule. You can plan every minute of your day. But if your energy is depleted, everything will fall apart. Remember this, success is not just about managing your time. Success is about managing yourself, specifically, your energy. This is something most people overlook. They think working hard is enough, but working hard while exhausted only produces half-hearted results. Successful people don't just ask, how many hours do I have? They ask, how much quality energy do I have in those hours? And that question is the turning point. You don't need 12 hours to do something extraordinary. Sometimes it only takes 2 hours, but it has to be 2 hours when you are alert, clear, and full of life. Think of it this way. A sharp sword can only cut once. A dull knife can be swung hundreds of times without any results. So how do you keep your sword sharp every day? You have to start paying attention to sleep. You have to feed your body what really nourishes, not just satiates. You have to know your energy peaks during the day and put your most important work in there. Don't force yourself to be creative when your mind is in turmoil. Don't try to make decisions when your energy is at rock bottom. That's not weakness, it's strategy. Average people burn themselves out to work. Outstanding people learn to recharge. They build habits not to force themselves to work, but to build a solid foundation of energy. Because when you have enough energy, you don't need motivation. When you have clarity, you don't need anyone to push you. And when you work at the right time with the strongest resources, results are no longer a luxury, but a necessity. Time may be measured, but energy is the engine. And the more you protect it, the more you invest in it, the more every hour you live will be an hour of real power. You can't improve what you don't measure. You may feel busy all day, but the question is, are you actually moving toward your goals, or are you just spinning your wheels? This is where the average person misses the point. They live by their gut. They rely on their emotions to judge their results, but emotions are deceptive. They magnify failures, minimize achievements, and distract you from what's really happening. Successful people don't feel progress, they know exactly where they are. By numbers, by journals, by data. So if you want to move from random to proactive, from emotional to professional, you have to start measuring. Measure how you spend your time. Measure your energy levels throughout the day. Measure how many minutes you have of truly focused, undistracted focus. Measure how many of your actions actually produce results and how many are just fake busyness. You don't need complicated tools. A notebook, A simple app will do. It's not about the tools. It's about whether you dare to face the truth. And sometimes, the truth will be uncomfortable because it will show you that you're not working as hard as you think, that you're interrupted too often, that you're repeating the same bad habits without even realizing it. But those truths are the beginning of real change. Only when you see clearly can you adjust. Only when you measure can you grow. Success is not for guessers. It's for those who track, analyze, refine, and persevere. Because data doesn't lie. And when you dare to look at it, you become a leader, not just a follower of your emotions. Want to speed up? Start recording. Want to go far? Stop feeling. Master the game with a measured mindset, because that's the only way you can truly upgrade yourself step by step. Most people are busy, but not all of them are progressing. They just do, they just run, they just complete one thing after another without stopping to ask, where am I going? Am I on the right track? Reflection, that is, when you stop. Not to rest, but to look at yourself. It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be deep, it just has to be real. Because 1 minute of honesty is worth more than a week of mindless, habitual running. Have you ever asked, what did I do today that I am proud of? What did I do wrong today that I should have stopped? What took away my energy? What fueled my fire? Without reflection, you are living without direction. You can be busy, but it is the kind of busyness that doesn't transform. You can try, but it is the kind of trying that wears you out, not empowers you. Successful people don't just act. They analyze, they adjust, they learn from themselves. And that learning doesn't come from books, it comes from daring to face yourself, even if the truth is a little bitter. Reflection doesn't require you to write a diary every day, but it does require you to be aware. Dare to stop, dare to ask questions, and dare to change when you see fit. That's why those who go far aren't the best. They're the ones who understand themselves best. They don't get caught up in the rhythm of life. They create their own rhythm based on a deep understanding of themselves. If you really want to grow, start by looking back. Not just what did you do, but why did you do it? How did it feel? Is it right for me? Because true transformation doesn't start with knowledge. It starts with awareness. And reflection, that's the mirror you need every day to not just live, but to live true to the person who is constantly improving inside you. Many people feel tired, but they don't know why. They feel lost, but they don't know what they're missing. The answer lies in something seemingly simple: inner clarity. When you don't know where you're headed, every path feels lost. Every decision becomes a gamble. Every day, a series of soulless actions. You run, but you don't know for what. Clarity isn't perfection. It's looking deep inside and asking, what am I living for? What's most important to me right now? What's non-negotiable in my life? Because if you don't know what's worth fighting for, you'll fight for everything and burn out on the wrong things. Inner clarity is the compass that helps you say yes when it's time and no when it's time. It is the solid foundation in the storms of expectations, of pressure, of society. When you are clear inside, you no longer need external validation. When you know what is true for you, you do not need to chase after what seems right to others. But clarity does not come naturally. It comes from the courage to sit with yourself. Ask the hard questions, answer the truth, listen to the voices you usually avoid, the disappointments, the forgotten dreams, the things you really want but dare not reach. Only when you stop and connect with your inner truth do you know what you really want. And when you know that, every choice, every action has a clear meaning. You no longer live to deal with tomorrow, you live to lead it. That is the power of inner clarity, and that is where the transformation begins. If you've made it this far in the video, I want you to know one thing. Not everyone is ready to face the truth. Not everyone has the courage to look back at how they live, how they spend their time, how they've put their dreams on hold because they're too busy living for others. But you are different. You're here, which means you've begun the process of awakening. A process that requires honesty, discipline, and trust. Believing that you deserve to live a life that is not determined by circumstances, but one that you choose and create every day. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to start living true to yourself, more clearly, more purposefully, and knowing how to protect your time, energy, and attention as if they were the most valuable assets you have. Because they are. Every action you choose after this video is a vote for the future you want to build. Every hour you hold on to is a building block for a stronger version of yourself. And every time you say no to the meaningless, you open up space for the truly valuable. Don't wait for inspiration. Don't wait for time. Don't let another week, month, year go by and you wonder, if only I had started sooner. Start today. Share this video if you feel it speaks to you or if you know someone out there who needs to hear it as much as you did. Subscribe. Turn on the bell. Because this journey isn't a moment. It's a process. And I'm with you every step of the way. Because you weren't meant to survive. You were meant to lead.